Hi everyone, and welcome back to our Christmas themed series where we're creating or showing you behind the scenes of how to create Saving Christmas, a game I released for free over the Christmas period. So if you want to join along, you can download all the assets for this project in the description below, as well as if you want to watch the whole entire series, you become a patron, and for just $1 you can get access to the whole series straight away. So in this episode we're going to carry on where we left off and start working on the user interface, so that when we get hit by a goblin we lose a heart, and when we pick up a present we gain one on the screen. So I've imported in the assets provided. I've imported the heart, the present that's empty, present that's full, and the font Snowbee, and when you import that in you get the option to make a font out of it. You want to choose yes, and I'll give you this font. So this is what we'll be using to create our user interface today. So I'm going to go add new, user interface, widget blueprint. And the first thing we're going to do is create our heart widget. So I'm going to go hearts underscore UI. And we'll open it up. Now we don't need a canvas panel in this, so we can delete the canvas panel because we're making a sub widget, a widget that can be inside of the canvas eventually. So this thing's going to have an quite simply a horizontal box, and inside the horizontal box we're going to put in an image and some text. The image is going to be our heart image, so I'm going to go to the appearance and change the image to my heart UI. Okay, and I want to set it to the image size that I've designed it at. I can leave it actually no, we'll leave it at 100 by 90. I think that's pretty accurate. Rather than seeing its fill screen, change it to desired. And you get to see what it actually is going to look like. There's my heart. The text over here is going to be the number of hearts we have. So it'd be like an X1, for example. But I want this to be that font. So let's first of all set it so it's horizontal in the alignment and to the left. We're then going to make sure it's justified to the left as well. And go to font, and we'll choose the Snowbee font. And I'm going to increase the size of this to be 48. Nope, let's do 40. You want it big enough so it doesn't stretch this. So 36. That'll do it. Okay. Now you want some maybe want some padding between these two. So let's just add some padding to the left of this one of say 30 units. There we go. So this may say X3, for example. Let's change it to a capital X. It's a bit too big, that capital X. Just keep it normal, simple X. Times 3, for example, to get our number of hearts. And very simple, we'll leave it as that. The number of hearts, they will change based on the gameplay. So this thing is going to be the thing that changes, therefore it'll be variable. So with it selected, go up to the top on the right hand side, give it a name, so heart amount, and tick the is variable button. It has to be variable because it's going to be changing. Go to the graph, and we're going to create a function in here. And this function is going to be called update hearts. And with that, we're going to have an input. And the input is going to be a number of hearts, which will be an integer. And all we're going to do is tell that text value to change. So I'm going to drag that text value, which should appear as a variable, out onto the field here. And from there, I can go set text to change the text that it currently has. Now it has that X first, and then it has the number. So to replicate that, we need to do a format text node. And in here, we're going to put in X, and then open curly bracket. We'll go int, close curly bracket, hit enter, and now int becomes a variable parameter, which we can drag our number of hearts into it like so. Hit compile, and we're done there. So we're done with that, we can close that. So now we're going to create the present UI. So right click, user interface, widget blueprint. Present UI. And again, we don't need a canvas panel for this. And this is going to comprise of 3 images next to each other. So I need a horizontal box, because that stores things in a horizontal alignment. And I'm going to drag 3 images inside of it. Well, actually, let's do 1 here, first of all. And I'm going to change that to present empty. Okay. Again, I'm going to change this to desired so we can see what it's actually looking like. There's the empty present. And I'm just going to name this one present 1. And I'll duplicate that twice. And it should appear next to each other. So this one will be present 2. And this one will be present 3. And I'm going to put a little padding between each of these. So present 2, on the left we're going to have 50, and on the right we're going to have 50. And you get a nice padding between all of these. Okay. We'll give a little bit of curve to this as well. So present 2 here, I am going to offset that a little bit in the render transform. So I'm going to change its Y translation a little bit like so. Just give it a little bit of off-center stuff. And there we go. You can also rotate these. Just give a little bit of rotation. Just give them a bit more jank, so they look a bit more fun. Like so. Hit compile. So there's our 3 presents. Now we're going to the graph, and we're going to create a new function. And this function is going to be update presents. And this is going to take 1 input, and it's going to take in the number of presents, which again would be an integer, similar to the hearts. So this whole number will get passed through here, and what we're going to do is take a for loop through that horizontal box and change the graphic for each of these images based on whether or not it matches or is greater than or less than the number of hearts we need to show. So click on the horizontal box, tick the is variable button, and rename it as hbox, and that'll do just fine. Go into the graph, drag your hbox variable out, choose get children, to get all children, to get the array of all its contents, which are these 3 here. So we're going to do a for each loop for each of those. Now, if the array index for this is going to be, if it's less than the integer, and the number of presents to be the other integer. So if the array index is, say, 1, okay, 1 is being the middle one here because it goes 0, 1, 2. If it's 1, and the number of presents we've got is only 1, I want the array index for this to be false, okay, because it's not going to be true, okay. And in its current state, it will be the case because the array index will be 1, and the number of presents will be 1 as well, therefore making them equal. If that is then going to be put into a branch, that will mean if it's true and it is less than the array index, we want the present graphic to change to the one we want to show. So this widget in object reference here, we're going to cast that to an image because it wasn't an image type. Now it is, because now we can change set brush from texture, and we'll do the same thing down here. And the texture for the true will be the present that is there, so present full, and this one will be present empty. Hit compile. Okay, so that'll close that. And now we're going to make the HUD that will contain both of those. So I'm going to add my widget blueprint and go heads up display UI. Open this up, and we can now add those two widget elements to our screen. So go to user created section in your palette, drag your hearts out and drag your presents out. So number of hearts I'm going to put in the bottom corner here. So I'm going to put it there, and I'm going to change the anchor to be the bottom left. I want my presents to be at the top here, and I want them to be anchored to the top, like so. I'm going to change their position. I'm going to set to 0, 0. You'll notice it goes to the top left hand corner. Now the alignment here controls where it aligns and draws from. So if I put it at 0.5 in the X, and you'll see it's now aligned it perfectly in the center. So what I'm going to do is offset its position somewhat. So I'm going to go, say, 200. Actually, let's do 150, like so. Cool. Click compile, and we're done. Actually, make that a bit higher. Let's go 100. Cool, compile. So now we've got a UI, we want to add that to the screen. So I'm going to go into my game mode. And in my game mode, I'm going to, on begin play, create widget. Call it the heads up display. I'm going to provide that to a variable. I'll call it HUD underscore UI. And I'm going to add that to the viewport. Compile that, and let's play the game. So there's our UI all there waiting for us. Okay, it's not coded yet, so that's our next job. We're going to make that coded up. So let's work on the present first. So when I click the present, let's find the present and find this. You look for the part where we pick it up. So that would be the begin overlap. So all this stuff here. So when it's finished, we told the game mode here to change the number of presents collected. Oh. We also want to tell it to update the HUD's hearts on the presents on the screen. So drag from as game mode and get HUD UI, and then from there we're going to get sorry, not hearts, presents, and then call that update presents function. Now the number we're plugging in will be this increment we've got here, like so. Compile and hit play, and let's go pick up a present to test this theory out. So let's go over here because there's one over here. There you go, it updates the screen. So now I've got a heart, one of the presents. Next is to make it deal damage to the character. So I'm going to go to Santa, find where I'm receiving damage, which is here, and we need to do basically the same thing. So I'm going to get game mode, cast to my game mode, get HUD UI, get hearts UI, and then update hearts. So you follow the train along to get to where you want to go, the function here. Now the number of hearts is going to be just our health we play here, like so. So let's go test that out. If I get hit, see it says 3 in the corner. If I go get hit, it says now 2, and then 1. Okay. Okay, that's kind of it then. We've done the widget UI. It's not fancy. It doesn't have any animations or anything like that. We can leave it as is. I think that's fine for what we're trying to achieve here. So thanks very much for watching. If you want to watch the next part right now, you can check out the Patreon where all the episodes for the whole entire series are available. Thanks very much for watching. Merry Christmas, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.